Hi, my loving children. May God bless your day and keep you safe. Let's start today's class with a silent prayer. In the last class, we have seen soluble substance and insoluble substance. Then we have seen how we can separate soluble substance. Here I have brought a soluble substance. Let us see how this substance is getting dissolved in water. To see the soluble substance, I have taken 1 glass water and some salt. Now let us see how this salt is getting dissolved in water. I am adding the salt, and when I stir the water, you can see that the salt is getting dissolved in water. The salt dissolves in water. So salt is a soluble substance. When we add salt in the water, the salt dissolves. So salt is a soluble substance. So now we have seen example for soluble substance. Salt is an example for soluble substance. Now how we can separate soluble substance? The salt is dissolved in this water. How we can separate salt from this water? By two methods we can separate the soluble substance. The first method by boiling, second method by distillation. When we boil this water, the water will be lost in the form of water vapor. The water is lost through boiling. The water is lost through boiling in the form of water vapor, and the salt will be left behind. When we boil this water, water is lost in the form of water vapor on heating. The salt will be left behind. So we can separate the soluble substance by boiling. The second method, distillation. We take this water in a round bottomed flask, and when we heat this water, water will be changed into water vapor. This water vapor is allowed to pass through a condenser. The condenser can cool the water vapor. At the end of the condenser, we keep a beaker. So the cooled water vapor is collected in the beaker and we get pure water. When we heat the water in the round bottomed flask, water is changed into water vapor and the salt will be left behind. So we can separate the soluble substance by distillation process. Now let us see the separation of insoluble substance. Insoluble substance such as sand and mud can be separated by sedimentation followed by decantation or filtration. First of all, let us see sedimentation and decantation. In sedimentation, insoluble substance in a liquid settle down at the bottom of the container. The substances that settle down are called sediments. The substances that settle down are called sediments. Sedimentation process involves 3 steps. The first step, impure water that containing mud is collected from the pond in a beaker. The second step, the water is allowed to stand undisturbed for a while. The third step, after some time, the mud settles down at the bottom of the container as sediment. This process is called sedimentation. Impure water that containing mud is collected from the pond in a beaker. The water is allowed to stand undisturbed for a while. After some time, mud settles down at the bottom of the beaker as sediment. This process is called sedimentation. Now let us see the sedimentation by doing an activity. First we have to take impure water. So I have taken the impure water. The second step, the water is allowed to stand undisturbed. So I am going to keep this water undisturbed for some time. Now after some time you can see that the mud settled down. After some time, mud settled down at the bottom of the glass as sediment. This is called sediment, and this process is called sedimentation. So in this glass, water above the mud. Here you can see the mud. Above the mud there is water and it is clear. The water above the mud is clear. So this clear water can be poured into other glass. without disturbing the sediment, I have poured the clear water to the other glass. The process of removing clear water after the sediments have settled down is called decantation. So what is decantation? The process of removal of clear water after the sediments have settled down is called decantation. So now we have seen sedimentation and decantation. In sedimentation, first we collect the impure water and we allow this impure water undisturbed for a while. Then after some time, mud settle down at the bottom of the container as sediment. This is called sedimentation. The process of removing the clear water after sediments have settled down is called decantation. So by sedimentation and decantation, we can separate insoluble substance. In your textbook, page number 82, you can see an activity to learn sedimentation and decantation process. I have shown you now. You can try at home. Now let us see the next method to remove the insoluble substance. Filtration. The second method for the separation of insoluble substance is filtration. In filtration, insoluble substance can be removed by passing the solution through filter paper. When we allow the insoluble substance to pass through filter paper, the insoluble substance will be collected on the filter paper and the clear water will be allowed to pass through it and it is collected in the flask. The process of separating insoluble substance by passing the solution through filter paper is called filtration. Filtration is the best method to remove the insoluble substance than sedimentation and decantation.
Jack filled a beaker with muddy water and left it undisturbed for some time. After some time, he was surprised to see the beaker. Let us also look to find the reason for his surprise. The beaker had clear water. Mud being heavy, had settled down at the bottom of the beaker, while the water formed the upper layer. This process of deposition of mud at the bottom of beaker is called sedimentation, and the layer of mud is called the sediment. Jack separated the upper layer of water from the mixture by gently pouring the clear water into another beaker without disturbing the sediment. This process of separation of a liquid from the sediment is called decantation. Similarly, there are other separation methods too. Let us discover them in this module. Children, after preparing tea, this tea stall owner pours the mixture into the tea strainer. The tea passes through the holes of tea strainer, leaving behind the tea leaves in it. This process of separation is known as filtration. Filtration, however, cannot remove the solid substances dissolved in a liquid. Sometimes fine particles of the solid component pass through the strainer that is used as the medium for filtration. In such a situation, filter paper is used. A filter paper is a special paper which has millions of tiny holes in it. While the liquid can pass through these holes, the solid particles remain on the filter paper. The liquid which passes through the filter paper is called the filtrate. The solid particles that are left behind the filter paper are called the residue.
Now let us learn about air. Air is a mixture of gases. Air is a mixture of gases. Air contains nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and other gases like argon, helium, hydrogen. Water vapor is also present in the air. In the air, 78% nitrogen is present, 21% oxygen, and 1% carbon dioxide and other gases like argon, helium, hydrogen. So, air is a mixture of gases. We can see different types of gases in the air. So, air is a mixture of gases. Air also contains water vapor. Air contains different gases. Air also contains water vapor. The amount of water vapor present in the air at a particular time is called humidity. Humidity means the amount of water vapor present in the air at a particular time. Air also contains dust particles and smoke. Oxygen is important for all the living things for their survival. Nitrogen is the most abundant gas present in the air. In the absence of nitrogen in the air, even small fire can be uncontrollable. So the presence of nitrogen in the air controls the process of burning. It is also required for the growth of plants. A layer of carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere, and this layer acts as a shield preventing heat from leaving the earth. Carbon dioxide is used by the plants to make food. Argon is a colorless gas. Argon is used in making bulbs. Water vapor, ozone, hydrogen, helium are other gases that are present in the air.
What is it that is present all around us? We can feel it, but we cannot see it. It is colorless, odorless, tasteless, and it blows. No, it is not a ghost. It is air. Air is present all around us. So, what is the composition of air? Air is an invisible mixture of gases. Mixture, yes. It is made up of mainly of nitrogen, nearly 78%, oxygen, nearly 21%. It also contains water vapor and small amounts, small means 1% around, of other gases. These other gases include carbon dioxide, ozone, helium, and hydrogen. You must have heard about the humidity of air. What does it mean? It's the amount of water vapor present in the air. That determines the humidity of the air. Let's talk about the importance of air. Air is very important for animals and plants. All the animals, including human beings, need oxygen to live. They all need this oxygen every minute and second of their life. They take oxygen from air through the process of breathing. The oxygen present in air is used to produce energy from the food that is eaten. In this process, carbon dioxide gets formed, which is breathed out. Oxygen is also required for burning. Plants require air to live and grow. Let's do an activity. Take 2 potted plants. Add water to both the plants and keep them in sunlight. Cover one of the plants with a thin, transparent plastic sheet. Observe the plants for a few days. The plant which is kept covered with plastic sheet will shrink up and dry out after some days. The other plant will remain healthy. Why? This is because plants need air to live. They use the carbon dioxide present in air to prepare their own food by a process known as, we all know, photosynthesis. They carry out this process in the presence of sunlight. Would you like to practice the spelling of photosynthesis? Let's divide the word into photo and synthesis. P-H-O-T-O, photo. Synthesis, S-Y-N-T-H-E-S-I-S. Easy. How does nature maintain a balance? Animals and human beings use oxygen present in the air and give out carbon dioxide gas. Plants, on the other hand, consume carbon dioxide during photosynthesis in daytime. They then give out oxygen. In this way, a balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen is maintained in the air. Can you guess how many times a human being breathes every day? On an average, a human being breathes 22,000 times and takes in 16 kilograms of air every day. Yeah, these are facts. Would you like to know something about nitrogen gas? Nitrogen gas present in the air is also essential for the growth of plants. Huh? Yes. Because nitrogen helps in the rapid growth of plants. It also helps them to develop their fruits and seeds. It also increases the size and quality of their leaves. Plants therefore require nitrogen in large amounts. However, plants cannot absorb nitrogen directly from the air. Then, nitrogen gas has to be changed into other forms to be utilized by the plants. How? The bacteria present in the soil help to convert the atmospheric nitrogen into such specific forms, that is, nitrate and ammonium salts. These salts are taken in by plants to get the nitrogen needed by them. The plant roots absorb the soil from the soil. Plants then use them to form proteins, which are essential for their growth. Most of us must have heard the word atmosphere. What is the atmosphere? We can take it like a shield. Our atmosphere also acts as a shield, very much like an umbrella, to protect us from the harmful rays of sunlight. Ozone gas, present in the upper layers of the atmosphere, prevents harmful ultraviolet rays of sunlight from reaching the surface of the earth. These ultraviolet rays can cause skin and eye diseases in animals and affect the growth of plants. Thus, ozone layer in the air protects the animals and plants from the harmful effects of the ultraviolet rays present in sunlight.
Now let us see the properties of air. The first property, air occupies space. The second property, air is needed for burning. Third property, air exerts pressure. Fourth property, air has wind. Anemometer measures the speed of the wind. The first property, air occupies space. We can fill air in a balloon. Air can be filled in a bicycle tire. Air is filled in a truck tire. Air occupies all the available space. The second property, air is needed for burning. For burning, air is needed. The third property, air exerts pressure. What do you mean by exerts pressure? The pressure exerted by the air on the bodies. Because of the pressure, the particles of air pushes in all directions. If we consider a balloon, the air inside the balloon exerts pressure in all directions and make it blow up. So, air exerts pressure. The fourth point, air has weight. Now let us see an activity to learn that air occupies space.
Following activity demonstrates that air takes space. Find out if an empty bottle is really empty or not. Take an empty glass bottle, invert this bottle into a bucket filled with water. You will notice that water doesn't completely occupy the bottle and a large part of the bottle remains empty. This is due to the presence of air inside the bottle, which doesn't allow the water to fill the bottle. Now incline the bottle slightly. Bubbles are observed coming out of the bottle, which burst on reaching the surface. These bubbles are nothing but air present in the bottle, which escapes when the bottle is inclined. The air current escape from the bottle when the bottle is immersed upright into the bucket, gets displaced by the water which enters the bottle when the bottle is inclined. Gradually, the water fills the bottle entirely and the flow of bubbles from the bottle stops. This shows that air takes space.
So dear children, from the activity we have learned the property of air. Air occupies space. Air rises on heating. Another important property of air is the warmer air is lighter than cold air. Another important property of air is the warmer air is lighter than cold air. Because of this, when the air gets heated up, it rises up. When the air gets heated up, it rises up, and this property helps in the formation of wind. Now let us see the formation of wind. Sun's heat causes air to become warm. The warmer air is lighter than cold air. The cooler air is heavier than the warmer air. So the cooler air moves and takes the place of warmer air. As the warmer air is lighter, it starts to rise up, and the cooler air is heavier and it starts to move and take the place of warmer air. The moving air is called wind. The gentle wind is called a breeze. A strong wind is called gale. A very strong and powerful wind with rain is called a storm. A storm that occurs with thunder and lightning is called a thunderstorm. Wind affects the weather of a place. So we have seen the formation of wind. What is wind, breeze, gale, storm, thunderstorm? In your textbook, page number 86, you can see sea and land breezes, monsoon breeze. This portion you don't have to study. When you go to higher grade in a detailed way, you will study. You don't have to study sea and land breezes and monsoon breeze. Now let us see the next topic, role of ventilators in closed spaces. Ventilators and exhaust fans are generally located at the top portion of the wall of rooms. Ventilators and exhaust fans are generally located at the top of the wall of the room. This is because the air we breathe out is warmer and impure as it contains carbon dioxide. So the air we breathe out is warmer, it rises up and goes out through the ventilators. The fresh air from outside enters to the room through the window. So we should keep our windows open to allow the fresh air and the sunlight to get inside. Air pollutant and unwanted smells of cooking and foul smell also escape through the ventilators. If adequate air is not flowing into your home, the moisture will collect and damage your walls, wooden furniture and other essential items of your home. Molds can also grow and can cause health problems. We have to keep our home fresh, dry and airy. So to keep our home fresh, dry and airy, we should have ventilators and exhaust fan in our home. In our home, we have kitchen, and in the kitchen you might have noticed chimneys and exhaust fans. They help to remove unwanted smell produced while cooking. And in factories also you might have noticed chimneys. It helps to throw out the smoke and foul air. As the smoke and foul air goes out, the fresh air enters from outside and take its place. So dear children, today we have seen separation of insoluble substance, air, properties of air, formation of wind, role of ventilators in closed spaces. So you have to read the lesson, study well. Thank you. May God bless you.
Air is all around us. All living things need air to breathe. We cannot live without air. We cannot see air. We can feel it when it blows. Moving air is called wind. Take some small pieces of paper in your hands. Place your hands in front of a moving fan. What happened to the pieces of paper? The pieces of paper in your hands are blown away due to moving air. Air occupies space. Take a balloon. Blow air into it. The balloon becomes bigger and bigger when it is filled with air. This shows that air occupies space. We can fill air in a swimming tube, football, bicycle tube, etc. Air has weight. Take 2 empty balloons. Fill air into one of the balloons. Now weigh both the balloons. You will find that the balloon which is filled with air is heavier than the empty balloon. So we can say that air has weight. Air is needed for burning. Take 2 candles. Fix them on a table. Ask an elder to light both the candles. Now cover one of the candles with a glass tumbler. What happens? After some time, you will see that the candle covered by the tumbler goes off. Why? The candle covered with the tumbler could not get air to burn. A thing can keep burning only when it gets air. Uses of air. Air has many uses. Air helps in flying kites. It makes waves in the river or sea. It helps in sailing of a boat. It moves the fans of a windmill. Air helps clothes to dry. It helps helicopters and aeroplanes to fly in the sky.